the gate is becoming more and more narrow. And so, of course, you're going to have the rise of the indies.
Welcome to Modern Publishing. I'm Victoria, author, editor, and the owner of Blue Pen, and today I'm on with Michelle Cox.
I agree, and I do think that that is one of the things that maybe sets one editor apart from the next, is their ability to softly give the suggestions. And I think that makes all of the difference. And a lot of times I have found that most editors either are authors or were authors, and so a lot of them are sensitive and know what it feels like to get that feedback back. So I think that they tend to be the ones that can sort of cloud it a little better, so it's not so hard to take.
That definitely does make a difference. I can say, as someone who is both an editor and an author, when I get feedback on my work, it's a nice little reminder, especially for the next editing client, to say, oh yes, let's. And you know what? Sometimes it even comes down to just when you see something in a manuscript that impresses you or that excites you as the editor, or like, this was an amazing line, just leave a comment. Like, all the comments don't have to be negative. Sometimes I'll comment with an emoji if I got really excited. That's okay.
Yes, I love that. I love that when editors throw in a little compliment on the side. It's like, ooh, a treat. It's nice.
So, we have talked about different types of publishing. We've talked about marketing. This has been such a great conversation. The show is called The Modern Publishing. So what does the modern publishing industry, what does that term mean to you?
Well, you know what? I feel like, I don't think it's a big secret that I think that modern publishing is becoming more and more and more indie. I think, or else a series of, maybe like micro presses. Because I think that traditional publishing, I just don't see how it can, continue to exist in the exact way that it exists right now. I think it's going to implode, or something's going to happen, because it's just such an antiquated model that doesn't really work anymore. And it's it's very top heavy, and they're very risk averse. They only want to put money on their big name authors, and so it's kind of like the pharmaceuticals. They're just looking for the next blockbuster. So even though they have this huge infrastructure and all this money, it's like they only want to spend it on the Stephen Kings of the world, that the authors that are already in their stable. And you just have so many, the gate is becoming more and more narrow. And so of course you're going to have the rise of the indies. And I just think that the indies have been able to do it, faster and better, and come up with so much more innovation than their traditional counterparts. Because the traditional authors, a lot of them think that the house is doing all this marketing for them, when in reality they're not. And then they don't sell out their advance, and then they're canned by their publisher. I mean, this is the dark side of publishing. Of course, there's lots of authors out there who are totally happy with their arrangement, with their editor, with their publisher, and have a great gig going on. But I think that that's becoming, less and less, and more authors are unhappy with, either their contract or the fact that their editor left, or they got sold, or whatever it is. So yeah, I think modern publishing to me means, the rise of the indies.
One thing I love about where we are in the publishing industry right now is that we are having these conversations, and folks seem to be more willing to talk about the downsides of, you know, traditional publishing. Of course, there are downsides to independent publishing too, but I feel like we've covered that pretty well. I think it's a slightly newer to be talking more about the issues in traditional publishing, and hopefully, you know, folks within that realm will be finding ways to evolve and grow, just like the industry as a whole is evolving.
Yeah, you would hope that they are at some point able to kind of see the writing on the wall, and, you know, just the fact that there's, you know, the POD printing now is, you know, the technology is so good that you can, you know, because I've had my books, I've had them, you know, do a big print run of several thousand books, and I've also had a copy that was a POD. They're literally indistinguishable. So the technology is there, and it's just that we need to get these big lumbering giants to sort of, you know, pick up the pace a little bit. So it kind of goes back to this marketing too. It's like you have this sort of guerrilla marketing where the trads are still relying on, you know, we're going to have this PR company do this, and then and it's like, okay, we're going to put you out on a blog, and then we're going to have you write an article for this, and we're going to get you in, you know, People magazine or something. And that's just like so outdated type of marketing. And so it's like, not only is it's like their model is outdating, their printing is outdating, their marketing is outdated. So I think that hopefully they will start to evolve and, you know, pick up the slack, because I think indies really are doing it better at this point. I mean, I guess I'm biased, but yeah, I think they're doing a great job at it, and people are making, like, you know, a lot of money doing it on their own.
When you start seeing some of the breakdowns of how much, you know, money overall, just the profits for traditional versus independent authors, it is not what you expect these days. It's really not.
It's not. And okay, so there's like what, 1 million, 2 million books published a year. And so a lot of those books are, you know, junk, or they're going to make $1 or something in their lifetime. But there are plenty of authors, just listen to Mark Dawson's podcast. Every week he has somebody on who is making 6 figures a year by doing it themselves. I mean, but that takes a lot of work. You can't just like upload your book onto Amazon and like hope it sells. I mean, it's a lot of work behind that, but it's definitely doable. And I'm not sure that that's possible within traditional publishing unless you're J.K. Rowling or Stephen King. So it's shocking to me.
Yeah, it is definitely a lot of work though, and, you know, money up front as well to get that product to the quality that it needs to be. And I think a lot of potential indies are, you know, there's some sticker shock with the price of services, and then also, you know, the amount of work and time and energy that has to be put in for, you know, the publishing process and then marketing.
Yeah, for sure. Well, yeah, you know, it kind of just goes back to what we were talking about being a small business is, yeah, you need to invest in the machinery, you need to invest in the product, and but the great thing is that you're sort of able to drive the bus. So you know, it depends. It is definitely a pay to play industry.
Well, Michelle, this has been a fantastic conversation. I know our listeners are going to enjoy this and benefit a lot from it. Where can they go to learn more about you and your books?
Okay, great. Well, yeah, just go to my website, michellecoxwrites.com, and I have all of my links where you can follow me and sign up for my newsletter. I'll be having a big giveaway, a big summer giveaway coming up soon. And yeah, you can find me there.
That's fantastic. Thank you so much for hanging out with us today.
Thanks, Victoria. Thanks for having me. This is fun.
Thanks to our viewers for hanging out with us today. I hope this conversation has inspired you to blaze your own trail in the publishing industry. The full podcast episodes are available wherever you get your podcasts. Just search for Modern Publishing. You can also head over to bluepinbooks.com/modernpublishing. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and leave a comment. Happy writing, and I'll see y'all next time.